Welcome to the Haven Community Conversations, where we have honest conversations about faith, life, and everything in between. And today I'm here with Brandie. You might have, if you haven't already, her husband was on the last episode, and now Brandie is here with us. Been part of our church, a part of the Haven for what, how many years now?
Since 2018.
2018. Wow. Time flies by. Wow. Well, tell us a little bit about, you're a boy mom, right?
Very much so.
All boys.
All boys.
How many boys?
So me and Justin collectively have 5. I contributed 4 out of the 5. So I'm definitely a boy mom, for sure.
You remember all their ages?
Yes. So we have 4, 16, 17, 21, and 25.
Wow. 4 to 25. Sounds like my mom.
Yep.
My mom was a boy mom. Do you know it was all boys in my family?
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Me and your mom have talked about that.
And when I was born, so how old was the oldest?
So my oldest is 25.
How old was he when Jacob was born?
He was 21.
21, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, so my oldest half-brothers, well, I guess it'd be the same for Jacob. They were 17-ish, I think, when I was born. Yeah. And shortly out of the house, I don't even remember them there.
Yeah.
Either one of my oldest 2 brothers.
Yeah, our oldest he'd already been gone. So, Jacob calls him his brother, but I guess in reality it probably feels more like an uncle relationship just because. And
Yeah.
now it's just 2 of them at home, but he will let everyone know that he has a lot of brothers.
Yeah, I think early on my 2 oldest brothers felt more like uncles. I feel like brothers now. Shannon's passed away. He's moved on, but yeah. Tell us a little bit about your life. How's life these days, first of all?
Well, with a few boys, it still keeps you busy all the time. So between running a business, running a house, running children, I just pretty much stay busy all the time. Even when I think I'm not busy, I'm still busy.
Yeah.
So
What's something having all boys has taught you?
I would say it's taught me to be pretty tough
Yeah.
because boys are just different than girls,
Yeah.
So I feel like as a boy mom, in order for your boys to be tough, like you kind of have to show toughness to them just so that they don't, I don't really know how to explain it. Like
good.
when they, when a little girl falls down, you want to pick them up like, oh, you're okay. It's okay. When a boy falls down, you're like, rub some dirt on it and shake it off. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So in return, I had to get tougher because.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to describe my mom growing up. As tough. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes I feel sorry for Mom.
But I wouldn't change it for the world.
She would probably say the same thing. And then, of course, my wife's a boy mom.
Yeah.
She's got 2 boys. I know she wouldn't change it for anything. So I'm pretty sure both of them are on the same page with you. I just, outside looking in, I was like, man, I wish Mom had a daughter to relate to. But the good thing is now she has daughters. Once they start getting married and stuff like that, you get girls in the family. I think I'm more thankful now that I don't have girls than I used to. I want them when they're little.
Yeah.
I don't want the teenage girls.
I would agree with that. Just from the experience having teenage boys and you have to deal with teenage girls too. And they're a whole different ball game than boys. Their communication is different. Their just everything about them are different. And I don't know what I would do with a girl now at this point. And when I got pregnant with, Jacob, everyone was like, I bet you really hope it's a girl. I bet you really wish it's a girl. And
You're like,
No,
no,
not at
don't.
this point. No, I'm good. I'll take a boy.
Yeah.
But I knew he was a boy from day one, so I was never
Really?
worried. Yeah,
Just had a feeling?
yeah.
Yeah. Or you just like, I don't make girls?
I really thought Gage was gonna be a girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then when he turned out to not be a girl, I had just accepted the fact that I would never be a girl mom. And then I told all my kids that when they grow up and they have kids, they're going to start having a bunch of girls because they're not going to know what to do with
Yeah.
them.
Wow. Dang, yeah, mom. So I'm the fifth. I always forget to count me. Fifth, but sixth because my mom had a stillborn. How does that even happen? I mean, you think it's 50-50, but apparently not.
I don't know.
Apparently that some of us make more X chromosomes.
Yeah, I did my fair share.
Yeah.
I did my part.
Outside of family, what keeps you grounded?
I would say family really, so my kids really do keep me grounded.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a mom for so long that that's where I find like my comfort and my grounding. Like if I'm not taking care of a kid, whether that be, a sickness, a school project,
Yeah.
cooking a meal, whatever, it's just
Yeah.
kind of like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like
Well, they better have some grandkids.
one day.
One day. You got a long time, though, especially little Jacob.
Oh
It's
my
gonna be a while.
gosh. I wonder sometimes, having a kid in your 40s is like, man, by the time he's ready to graduate high school, I'll be ready to collect Social Security.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be good timing there. Well, let's pray and we'll move more into this. Lord, thank you for Brandie. Thank you for our time together, and Lord, thank you for being here with us. And Lord, just guide our conversation. Pray that we just have fun and Lord, anything that you want to bring out or highlight, Lord, just be present and in tune with your guidance and help us to be present with one another too, Lord. We thank you. We love you. And thank you for Sean for putting this together and producing this show. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Got you, buddy. Sorry.
Thank you, Sean.
I need to be more thankful for you.
Sean does a lot around here.
Yeah, and I'm not thankful enough.
This is not a paid advertisement.
So when did tell us a little bit about your faith. When did your faith start like being real for you? What's your faith journey?
So my faith journey, I still consider it to be new.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with my dad was, I guess you would consider him an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really believe in anything. He just believed like when you go to sleep, you go to sleep and you don't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's it. Like that's what it is. And then my mom grew up with a Catholic background, but I would only go to church like, on the big holidays, Christmas, Easter. And because of that, the Catholic Church is a little different, right? Like you can't go into classes with other children your age. You have to sit in the pew, the up, down thing. The priest that was there had an issue with his tongue. And of course, from the Bible they read out of, I didn't pick up anything as a kid, like nothing. And so it wasn't that I didn't not have faith, but I didn't have faith because I didn't know it.
You said he had a problem with his tongue?
He did. He had a problem with his tongue. So he was a older gentleman. I'd been told stories that he'd had part of it cut off as a child.
So you're talking literally?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you combined an accent.
All right. See, I'm thinking, I don't know if you know, like Book of James says, the tongue can, be dangerous, but it's talking about
Literally.
like
you know, so you have
Like
an
being,
older
I
gentleman.
didn't know if you meant like he was a smart aleck or he was, ridiculing people or talking bad, but you mean he literally.
I literally could not understand anything that he said.
Oh, okay.
You know, just
All right. So
having an accent.
it wasn't a bad priest or pastor. He literally had a problem
Right.
with his tongue. Okay.
You know, so I didn't really
Just had to
pick anything
clarify.
up. And then, of course, we didn't really practice any religion at home. You know, my mom would say she was a Catholic or a non-practicing Catholic. But I can remember her having like crystal balls and tarot cards and stuff like that. So really, I didn't know what faith was or religion other than what you see. You didn't have social media back then. So, you know,
Yeah.
you go to church on Christmas and they take the velvet cloth off of Jesus and then you know, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really didn't have much of a religion. And then I kind of went through life that had its ups and downs, obviously. And in 2014, when my dad died, right before he died, he'd gotten really sick and he was in and out of the hospital, had a bunch of medical problems. And I was trying to bring him home on hospice. And he had been unconscious in the hospital. He'd been suffering from some strokes. And at one point, we were in the ICU, and this was maybe a day before I brought him home on hospice. He woke up, well, literally like just woke up. He'd been asleep, you know, he'd been unresponsive for about 3 days. And I'm standing there in his room, and he opens his eyes, and he looks at me, and he told me that he died.
Wow.
And I didn't realize it at the time, but it kind of, a seed was planted that I wasn't expecting. And of course, you know, I was like, how do you answer that question? You know, you didn't die. I've been sitting in your room for the last 3 days. I would have noticed if you died on me. And he told me that he had died and that he knew where he was going and that I was happy and that he was happy to be where he was going. And I didn't really know what to think of that because my dad had not been religious or anything like that. When we did get him home, he did ask for like a clergyman to come and talk to him in hospice, sent someone out there. And from 2014 to 2017, my life got real bad, like just real bad. And finally, I just found myself in probably early 2017, just saying, there has to be something out there. This is just not working for me. And I just started praying. And my prayers were not answered immediately, as most people's are not. And it still got a little rougher before it started to get better.
Yeah.
And I made some promises that if God would somehow help me through these waves and trials and everything that I was going through, that I needed him. And he showed me. Little by little, he showed me. And then when I go back and I look, he was there all along, even when my kids were little and we were going through different types of struggles. But I didn't know that they were there. I didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he was definitely there.
Yeah. What year did you meet Justin?
In 2018.
2018. Okay. You said 2014 through 2017? Some real struggles? Okay.
Yeah.
And so were you coming out of it and finding God before Justin, or do they kind of go together?
No, I had already come out of it and was on the other side of it and trying to rebuild my life. And I would tell God and the kids that I was never going to get married again. I was never going to have any more children unless God put someone right in front of me, and I would have to know without a shadow of a doubt that this was the person for me. well, he showed me. So, yeah, so then, in 2018, I met Justin, and we just really hit it off, and we'd both been through some pretty rocky stuff and came out on the other end of it. And I think it was our time to meet.
Yeah. How'd y'all meet?
We met on an app.
On an app.
An app I was on for like 2 days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The dating app?
it was
Or is it hot or not?
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish? Okay.
It was Plenty of Fish.
Okay.
And I was on the app for about 2 days, and there's some really creepy people out there in the world. And a few people one person in particular had really creeped me out, and I had discovered that you can locate people through certain apps. And I lived in a not very big town. And at the time, I had some pretty distinguishing marks. I had bright pink hair, and I'm kind of covered in tattoos. And needless to say, if you met me online and then you ran into me at the gas station, you would definitely know that I was that person.
Yeah.
Because it's a small town. And it creeped me out so bad that I was like, I'm not doing this. And I deleted the dating apps, but I'd already talked to Justin.
So
And
y'all
we had
already
exchanged phone
connected.
numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so it just carried on from
So
there.
you got off and y'all kept talking, huh?
Yep.
Wow. And so how long you guys date?
We dated, I guess, for like a year and a half, maybe, before we
Yeah.
got married.
And you started coming here? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we would come to growth group because of his schedule and conflicts with that.
Really? I'd forgotten about that.
He couldn't really
He
come
wasn't able to make
because
Sundays then.
right, his schedule was very tight, and so we would come on Wednesdays.
Wow. Was that the plumbing thing? What was he doing?
He just had a really strict schedule at that time.
Okay.
And Sundays were not allowed, and a lot of times he ended up working on Sundays
Yeah.
just because that's just how it worked out, and he didn't have a lot of choices at the time. So
Yeah. Well, you and Justin been married how long?
since 2019.
2019?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
What's helped you through the ups and downs, keep your marriage together and strong?
I would say praying and communication.
Prayer and communication? Yeah.
He's better at communicating than I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I'm real, I like to say I'm an introvert, but sometimes I can be an extrovert. But a lot of times I'm an introvert.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of that just has to do with things that I went through in the past that made me a very shut down type person.
Okay.
I don't like conflict. So sometimes I'll just agree with people just so they don't argue.
Agreeable?
Yep.
Yeah. So how do you tell Justin he's wrong?
Well, now I don't have a problem.
No, I don't have a problem. You just tell him he's wrong now.
Yeah. Well, because
Early on, was it a problem though?
no,
It never
No.
caused problems?
no, not really.
Yeah. Because you need that wife to set you straight. Right,
Yeah.
Sean?
Amen.
Well, really, he helped me with communication, because he would be like, if you don't say anything, like, nothing's going to change, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he really helped me come out of that
Yeah.
to be more assertive. That's what he says.
Yeah.
He's still working on me. He wants me to be more assertive, because I don't know if you've ever had a deep conversation with Justin, but sometimes he can be accused of being too forthcoming with
Yeah.
the way he talks. He doesn't hold anything back.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
says what he if he's thinking it, he's saying it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, my wife, that's interesting because not that she's not a good communicator. When you get her to talk, she's a good communicator, but I'm the one who wants to talk about it and verbally processes. I got to give her time to come back around. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm the woman of the relationship.
Come on.
And so,
I would
no,
say-
stereotypically.
I would say me and Justin are kind of like that too, because
Yeah.
sometimes if there is a conflict, he wants to talk about it like right now,
Yeah, me
and
too.
sometimes I need to think about it and process it.
Yep.
as to where he thinks maybe I'm trying to ignore it or
Yep.
not talk about it, but I
Ditto.
just need to process it. But on the other hand, he's a typical man as to where if there is a conflict, like he kind of says it and then gets over it
Yeah.
much quicker than I do because I
Yeah.
haven't even finished processing it yet.
I think some things like what we consider the male and female roles, I don't think all of it, Scott, 2 and 2, I don't think all of it is like meant to stay with that stereotype. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I think being made in the image of God, maybe there's something there too of like the feminine and masculine sides
Yeah.
of God. You know what I mean? And making us human as a complete human. Maybe we naturally have our tendencies, maybe males from the hunting and gathering stages or
Yeah.
whatever, but these things that complement each other, those things that people don't know what to do with these days
Yeah.
because society's advanced so much, we don't know,
Yep.
I mean, we know the roles are getting lost and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but I think there are some good things like that I think we're all meant to communicate
Yeah.
well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the stereotype is that women usually tend to do it better, but I think we all should be good listeners, and
Yeah.
that's something I've had to work at, stuff like that too. So
Yeah. And sometimes I think it depends on, where you've been and what you've been through because I had come out of a relationship where I was almost the man and the woman in the relationship because I was the provider, I was the caregiver, I was the nurturer. I did everything. So I didn't really have a clear line as to,
yeah,
what one person's role
Yeah.
was versus the
Yeah.
other person.
yeah, that's interesting.
And then now, recently, in the past couple of years, we've been trying to switch our household back to where, like, the house is kind of my job, the kids, the nurturing, the cooking, the cleaning, which is already my job. But then, you'd add a career on top of that. And so we've been working to try to put those back the way they used to
Yeah.
be. I guess people would call it kind of like old-fashioned
Yeah,
type
yeah.
values, but
Oh, we we almost never had a choice
yeah.
because I always say Courtney I got the art degree and Courtney got the smart degree. And then I decided to go into ministry. So one, I go into the art degree. She goes into the degree that's actually making money, right?
Yeah.
And not that there was not, good paying design jobs, but then I had this like fork in the road or this, left turn where I got into ministry, and ministry's not usually Joel Osteen,
Yeah.
making big bucks type thing. That's why I tell people most of us are small church pastors. We have to be bivocational, stuff like that. And so Courtney was always the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And really, honestly, it wasn't until right around COVID when Robert offered me a job that I was making what I probably should have been in the
Yeah.
beginning. You know what I mean? But still, like, soon as I got up to par, she's still the breadwinner. I don't think I've ever got to taste being the breadwinner. So, and then, by the time it got to where we could do that, our kids were,
That's why we have one
Daxton's
more.
in high school. Yeah, then you have one more. Maybe that's it. No, it's impossible now. I'm fixed. So
Nothing's ever impossible.
true. Even with medical advances, nothing's impossible. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean. What's a moment in your life where you really sensed that God met you where you were at?
Well, that depends how deep do you want me to take that?
You can take
Because he
that.
met me in a not so great place.
Yeah,
Or I don't know
so
if he
let
met
me put
me
this-
or that's where I met him. Or that's where I allowed him
Okay.
to meet me.
Okay.
So I was in a really, really bad situation. So little backstory. So before I met Justin, before I've been remarried and I am the person I am today, I was in a very toxic relationship for 15 years. So as that relationship, as I tried to end that relationship, you know, they always say in domestic situations that the most dangerous time is when you really try to cut that relationship off. And that's exactly what happened to me. And when I had really, really, really had enough, and I put my foot down and said, I've had enough and I'm not doing this and it's over, we're done. He was not accepting that as an answer. And I do feel that at some point he was going to take my life, simply because if he couldn't have me, nobody could, even though he had a whole nother life going on. And I found myself literally sleeping in my vehicle in a Walmart parking lot so I would always be around people. And I just gotten so tired of running, and I would literally I was just begging God, please, like either let him just take me and be done with this, or I need rest, I need clarity, but mostly I need rest. Like, I really need rest. And I couldn't get that. It didn't matter where I went. There was nowhere I could get that was far enough. No one's house that was going to protect me enough. Consequently, I found myself in a jail cell. So do you know where an abuser cannot get you?
Yeah.
Behind bars. And so I spent a few months in jail. And over those few months, I got the rest that I needed. Because I can remember the very first night
Yeah.
that I was just so exhausted from life that I slept. And
You
I
felt
probably
safe
slept
there,
for
huh?
days.
Wow.
Because I felt safe.
Yeah.
And nobody was going to get to me where I was. And it gave me the time to really think. And I didn't really know what my plan was going to be, but I made myself a list, and I started going down the list and said, if you bring me through this, because there's a lot of stuff that comes along with any sort of jail sentence anyways, that, you know, here I am, do with me what you want.
Yeah.
And it got easier.
Yeah.
It got easier.
Yeah.
And from there, I just have kind of grown and grown and grown.
Yeah.
I just haven't really stopped. I mean, you still have ups and downs, and I wouldn't say that I lose faith, but I feel like sometimes I'm not as faithful as I should be or could be. And then I have to kind of check myself and remind myself of what I've been through and where I've come from, and here I am. And that's where he found me.
Yeah.
So I know that's like
Wow.
the ironic story, right? Everyone
Yeah.
finds him in a jail cell, but
Well, I'm so proud of you, Brandie. Like, where God's brought you, that's,
I'd do it all over again.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always, I tell people sometimes, and, myself at different seasons of life where things seem to be moving at a snail's pace, or, you're in a place of frustration or whatever, or even frustrated down on yourself or whatever. And, just reminding people to look back, look in the rearview mirror at where you were, and where God has brought you
Yeah.
to. Because sometimes when we're in the moment, we can't see that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, man, God's been good.
Definitely.
So what does grace look like in your life now?
I think grace just looks like how I personally deal with people. I give people a lot more grace than I used to. Now I guess I don't really know exactly how. It's more like a feeling. When I deal with people, when I deal with conflicts, I always try to take a step back And I try to show grace because I feel like if you show grace, then you'll get grace in return. Not all the time,
Yeah.
but a lot of the times you do.
You feel like you're a little bit more patient with people, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Or maybe more patient with myself
Okay.
than other people.
All right.
I've always been very patient with people. From being a mom and being in a healthcare field for so long, it was kind of like my natural instinct to give grace to other people, but it wasn't normal, or it didn't feel normal for me to give grace to myself.
Yeah.
And so once I started giving myself grace,
We don't think about that. I mean, especially like, sadly, as Christians, we don't. And really, honestly, like, I don't think even going into ministry, I don't think until faith walking I was able to ever put words to self-compassion. You know, when I first started to get back in church and everything like that, everybody was dogging, self-help, And the idea was because, we need to realize that without God we're nothing, and,
Yeah.
and we're in need and stuff like that. And so any focus on you is a me-centered gospel. I don't know if you've ever heard anything like that before, but really I've learned that the key to growth for a lot of us is being patient with yourself, showing
Yeah.
yourself grace and compassion and stuff like that. There's a world of difference between self-compassion and vanity, or somebody
Yeah.
being obsessed with themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of us are dealing with shame and stuff like that, and we need to stop beating ourselves up so much. That doesn't mean we're not going to take. I think you can still. What I'm saying is, I think you can still. I know you can still preach the gospel that we're sinners in need of a savior. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And still realize, God wants to have compassion on us, and He wants us to learn to have compassion on ourselves. So
Yeah.
I think it's the key to growth. I mean,
Yeah.
once you're able to start forgiving yourself and being, I guess, taking your hands off of our own necks sometimes and letting ourselves have room and space to grow and breathe, it makes all the difference.
Yeah. And I went through most of my life and I didn't do that, mostly because I would always put everyone else above me, especially when you start having kids. So just the career that I was in before doing what I'm doing now, and then having kids at home, it just, I was always the last person. And that's just because I think that's how society kind of directed you, like, take care of everything else, take care of this, take care of that. And then if you do stuff for yourself, well, then you're being selfish.
Yeah.
And I don't think I don't believe that's true now. Not that I didn't believe it was true or not true back then, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know any different.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. How have you changed most over the years?
I would say I'm a lot calmer than I used to be.
Would I be afraid to meet you on the streets before?
I mean, there was a time and a place, and not that I was like a super violent person or anything like that, but, I grew up in a not so great part of town, and
Are you talking about Gatewood?
I didn't live in Gatewood. I only hung out in Gatewood. Oh wait,
I'm
no,
from
I did
Gatewood.
live in Gatewood, but not till I got older.
Yeah.
Actually,
Brandie and I both grew up Pope.
two of my kids were born when I still lived in Gatewood. So,
Yeah. Okay, so you're not talking about Gatewood then?
no, but I grew up in that area,
Yeah.
a little bit further south, so I was closer to the mall. And
Oh,
so,
Guns Point?
yeah, I went to high school in Acres Homes. So
You did?
I did.
Where?
So it was ACE, and then it turned into Carver.
Okay, because it used to be an art school, right?
So it was originally, when it was ACE, it was a self-paced high school.
Okay. I guess they just had an art program.
And then because my brother also graduated from Carver. Well, he graduated when it was still ACE. And then it became Carver High School. And that was when there was an uproar in the community that the school was in their community, but the children in the neighborhood were not allowed to go to that school because you had to be tested to go into it.
Okay.
So then the district took over and made it into a magnet school. That's when magnet schools first started becoming like a thing. Well, they don't really have them out here in the suburbs, but in the city they did. And that's when it became like an artsy type school, and no sports or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember the art part because I tried out for it and got accepted, but I wanted to play football and I didn't want to be going back and forth
Yeah.
between my high school and stuff.
Yeah.
But you went to school there, right?
So I went to school there, and then when the school changed, because then anyone could go to the school. Once it became a magnet school, you didn't have to test to go into it. So it just changed. And so I went back to my home high school, which was Nimitz. I went there for a couple of
too.
years. Then I ended up at Aldine Night School because I didn't take direction very well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I would say back in the day, if you met me on the streets, it wasn't that I was like an ugly or nasty person, but I was a very defensive person all the time because I kind of had to be.
Yeah.
You know, going to school with different types of people just kind of makes you defensive. And
Right.
so then I was just defensive all the time.
Yeah.
It's just who I had
Yeah.
become.
I remember Aldine Junior. I went to Aldine Junior.
I went to Stovall.
Yeah. It could have been a different journey for me. Yeah. You had some hood in you, huh?
A little bit. It's still in there.
It's still in there, yeah.
But I try to keep it at bay. I've gotten very good
It's
at being
still
able
in there, but
to
Jesus has taken over, huh?
100%. I'm pretty good at being able to control my emotions much better now than I could back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah. See, we in faith walking, we have what's called we talk about what's called the secret self, the private self, and the public self. You ever heard of those? Yeah. So public self is what your public persona, right? What you are out with everybody, and then your private self is like soon as you get in the car with Justin or your, kids or whatever, the person you are with those closest to you, you kind of let down the wall and or whatever, and a little bit more comes out. And then the secret self is you and your thoughts and God. You don't, that nobody really knows. Anyways, the whole thing in faith walking is to get those in integrity.
Yeah.
Like, so you start to become more one, you
Yeah.
know, through and through. But so that
I would say now those used to be different personality types, but now they're very much
yeah.
running together.
But Justin and the kids might see the hood a little bit more.
No, not really.
Not really. Oh, okay.
No. You got to really push the mama bear buttons these days.
Yeah.
to,
Okay. To get the hood out.
Yeah. A
Well,
few people have really tried to rile it up the
I
last
won't-
few years.
I won't
but
push those buttons. We won't go there.
So now I'm just me. Pretty much what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how's your church family helped in your journey?
My church family has really helped because, in the Haven, there's always someone there for you, no matter what's going on. Doesn't matter how good, bad, ugly, happy, sad, doesn't matter. They're just always there. Pray for you, pick up the phone, check on you. And so, even though, we've moved further away from the church, but we still come here because it really is like, it reminds me of back in the day, the old show Cheers, everyone walks in, hey, Norm. And I feel like that's the Haven. And so I think that when you have those type of people around you that you know you can depend on, it helps you. I think it really helps you keep your faith and helps you keep moving forward, as to where if you don't have that support system, then you can kind of get lost in your own thoughts,
Yeah, that's good.
and there's just no one there. But I mean,
Yeah.
over the years, I mean, the Haven really has become, part of our family.
Yeah.
So I used to joke with Rosemary the first time I met her, that the first time I ever met her, I told her, I introduced myself and she introduced herself as Nana. And I said, oh, well, that's great because I don't have a Nana, but I could use one and I'm up for adoption. So I didn't know that our relationship would go,
Yeah.
in that direction where Nana really did become Nana, and my kids call her Nana and refer to her as the Nana.
Yeah.
The Nana with two N's, not to be
Yeah.
confused, because my mom is Nana with
Nana,
one
well,
N.
one N. Okay, so they got two nanas. Well, I know Sonia and Nana don't get to come here as much, but I remember what they did for Justin. That, to me, is success in the church. Like, that makes me smile from ear to ear. Talk about in church you do different programs and events
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. To me, it's the immeasurables. And like when I say like it's about doing life, changing our visions, love God, grow together, change the world. The change in the world aspect is just stuff you really can't measure. Like, are we
Yeah.
living life for Christ, the rest of the week? And like, yeah, I just think the way they opened up their home.
Yeah, when I think of someone who is like truly a selfless person and really wants to help other people, those are the type of people. And I feel like the world doesn't have enough of them anymore. But definitely,
And help get him on his feet, and then God blessed him with you and
yeah.
with y'all's
Well,
own
because
business.
she helped us. She really helped us too, as a couple and as a family, get on our feet.
Yeah.
Everything in God's timing, but everything just worked out really well. She ended up letting us rent space out of her home so we could save money, so we could get into our own home. And, me and Justin were both coming out of pretty rough relationships. And honestly, neither one of us had nothing,
Yeah.
And she'll definitely always hold a huge place in all of our hearts because she just really helped.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't know it, just her being who she is.
Yeah. I agree. If you're watching, we love you, Nana. We love you too, Sonia. All right. Now for the hard questions.
Uh-oh.
If your life were a movie, what would the title be?
Ooh.
Terminator?
Probably the Fast and the Furious.
The Fast and the Furious?
Or maybe Zootopia. I'm not sure.
Wait, I gotta. What's that one about?
I mean, Zootopia?
No. I mean, what's?
Oh.
How does that relate to you?
Oh, man. Because after you raise a whole bunch of boys, and sometimes I feel like our house is kind of like a zoo. So,
Yeah, Zootopia, one with the sloth.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I like Fast and the Furious. Actually, I've never seen one Fast and the Furious.
I would like to say I haven't, but my
seen
oldest
them all.
child was obsessed with the Fast and Furious movies
Yeah.
growing up because he grew, he's 25, so it's kind of in that era.
Mm-hmm.
And you better believe that we watched all of
Yeah.
them.
So honestly, like it's weird because there's a lot of guy, stereotypical guy
Yeah.
stuff that I like, but I've always been. I don't like action for action's sake. I've always been like that. So maybe I want some story with it, and then I love the action. But just like there's nothing that excites me about going to a movie just to watch action for action's sake. So another series that I'd never watched until recently was Mission Impossible, because I thought it was just action for action's sake. I could be wrong about Fast and the Furious too. I don't know because I've never seen it. But that's the way I stereotyped it. Same thing with Mission Impossible. I was like, I don't get anything out of the previews. It's just stunts and that's it. And then it was Zane and Joseph got me to go to the last one, but I had to like watch the two before that.
They knew what was going on.
Like all in one weekend. And man, eventually I may go back and watch the rest of them. I loved it. It was great. So
I would probably have to say I don't think I've ever seen them.
it's pretty good. It actually had a story with it, but it was good. I gotta believe if there's action, I gotta believe in what you're doing.
Oh, it has to be a cause.
Yeah, it's got to be a cause. Like it's like wrestling. Like I grew up with wrestling or whatever. It's a guy thing. It's a male soap opera. You know what I mean?
I never watched wrestling either.
Yeah, I was into wrestling. Well, some people are into UFC, but they get into the, I don't know if you'd call them characters with UFC because it's real, but you know what I mean. They get into the
The real characters.
to the people. Yeah. You get one full day with 0 responsibilities. What's the first thing you do?
Oh, I'm getting a massage. I love a good massage
Love a good massage.
and a pedicure.
Yeah. Are you a beach person?
Yeah. Yeah.
You are?
I'm a
Okay.
beach person.
If you did beach or mountains, what would it be?
Ooh. I would probably say my heart always goes to the beach. But I do like colder weather and cooler weather, and I like nature and being outside, preferably when it's not 1,000 degrees out there. But growing up, I spent a lot of time at the beach, and so it always holds
Yeah.
a place in my heart. And
Yeah.
then when my dad passed away, he wanted me to put his ashes out off the Texas City dike for
Yeah.
no other reason than, he wanted to be in the water. So I kind of feel like anytime I'm near the beach or the ocean, like my dad's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Is Justin a beach person?
yeah.
He is a little bit? Mm-hmm. You hesitate a little bit?
Well, he grew up in Southern California. So
Okay.
their beaches and our beach, those are two totally
Y'all should
different
go to the
worlds.
beach with us. But we just we could set up at noon and not leave till 6 or 7, but we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
We're just we just got our
Yep.
canopy set up, and that's what we like to do, bring some music and stuff.
When I was a kid, we used to sleep on the beach like it was a regular thing.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time down there.
Yeah.
My grandfather lived in Texas City, and some of my dad's siblings lived down there, and so we were at the beach
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's one song that always puts you in a good mood?
I don't know if I could pick one song. So I love music in general. I'm also terrible with names.
What's
and
a song that puts you in a good mood? That way you don't have to pick the song.
I
Come
would
on.
say
It don't have to be Chris
right
Tomlin.
now.
Yeah.
No, so right now, every morning Jacob makes us listen to this song called "Joyful"
Okay.
by Dante something. He's a Christian artist, and
I love Dante something.
I cannot remember what his last name is, but we have to listen to the song every single morning, like a couple of times.
Okay.
And it's very catchy, and I don't think you could listen to it and not be happy.
I need to hear
It's called "Joyful."
Joyful by
Joyful.
Dante.
I'll have to send it to you.
Okay, yeah. Send it to me. Speaking of, I think it was Justin 2 weeks ago when we were sitting here. Did he tell me about Shane Smith? Do you know who that is?
No, and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the episode yet. So
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
sure.
It's not an episode. Oh, you're
I
talking
haven't
about
seen
the podcast.
the podcast.
Well, if you don't know now, I'm starting to wonder if that's who he was mentioning passing a comedian.
So
And I thought he said Shane Smith, but anyways, I stumbled upon this guy and I loved him.
So me and Justin are complete opposites.
So
So
you don't know what he's doing.
he is the type of guy who is much like Courtney.
Yeah.
So he knows like everyone's name, like actors, songwriters,
Okay.
singers, bands, albums, songs. I don't know anyone.
Well, this is a guy. All his comedy's clean, and so I think he's born. I think he's a Christian.
And I might know him
And
like by sight.
No,
but
he's tatted up like on his
Oh.
face and everything. Does that sound familiar?
maybe.
But he's also a big nerd. It's funny. He puts it all in his comedy routine, like how he got the way that he is, that he grew up hood, but he's really a nerd and stuff like that.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyways,
I could see Justin watching something like that.
and I'm loving it. So I need to find out if Justin is the one who recommended him to me. If you could instantly master one skill, what would it be? Nunchucks?
No, Joey mastered nunchucks. It looks painful. I don't want to do that.
Really? Did he
Yeah.
hit himself?
No. So Joey has a black belt.
Oh.
So he went through all the weapon stuff.
Yeah. Shane Smith says, "Did you know you can buy a black belt? Nobody's gonna stop you." Anyways, I'll stop talking.
Wait,
about
what was
Shane
the question again? Oh, if I
If you-
could do one thing?
Smith. Yeah.
Does it have to be real?
I don't know where you're going with that, but
I don't know. Sometimes if I could master like being invisible
oh,
or like keeping
That's a
my
good-
mouth shut when it
yeah,
should be shut.
yeah,
I don't know if that's a skill, but
yeah. I could do invisible. One superpower I'd never want though is reading minds.
no.
I want to steer clear of that. I do not. Which of your boys is most like you?
I would probably say Joey.
Joey.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
I would say so. Joey's definitely my most caring and compassionate kid. But he also processes things almost so he processes stuff the way I process it so well that if we're sitting in the same room, we already know what each other's thinking.
Yeah.
Just because.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would say Joey is probably the most like me.
What's your house motto?
I say that. So I hashtag everything with beyond blessed, and that is my house motto.
That's
So
your
that's
house motto.
everything. Our
Beyond blessed.
Wi-Fi, I have it on plaques in there.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe I'll
Nice.
get that as a tattoo one day.
Last question. What's one piece of wisdom you would, from your story, you would pass on to others?
I guess my piece of wisdom would be that you got to put faith in yourself in order to have faith in anything else.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Brandie. I enjoyed having you, enjoyed our conversation, I enjoyed our laughs, and I definitely don't want to push your buttons because I don't want that hood to come out.
Nah.
Love you, girl.